part two. So what I did is I added this hue and saturation adjustment layer that act on the entire image. Look at the difference when I turn it on and off. This is without it. See how red Paul is? But when I turn it on, you see that the red, all these areas that are super red are now much, much better. If I double click on it, you see what I actually did is go in and desaturate the red a little bit. That's what I did. So now Paul is not super red. That is nice. I also took this layer in which I had lightened Paul's under the hat thing, and I actually moved it up because when it was underneath all these adjustment layers, it was sometimes not, making things a little bit, I don't see a huge difference. But when I did it the first time, it looked like there was quite a bit of a difference. Then the thing I don't like is this line right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layer 0, where is the photo of Paul, and I'm going to take this tool that is called the blur tool, and I'm basically making my blur tool fairly large, and then go over that line a few times so that it's not as harsh. You can see that it kind of blurs it a little bit, maybe too much actually. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do it maybe once. Other things that I don't like in this photo is a lot of noise. You see how if you zoom onto his eyes and stuff, there's kind of a lot of noise. I'm not sure why, but so now Paul is not bright red anymore. Now, as I said, we can actually change look at the difference between the pants and the hue and saturation. Maybe we desaturated a little too much. I'm going to bump up the saturation a little bit because I think the pants were a little bit too muted. Let's try again. Yeah, pretty good though. I like it. Because I don't like his face really bright red. So I did that, and then you remember I did the color balance on this image. I did this. The difference for the color balance, brightness and contrast, and hue and saturation is only on his face because I did a mask, so that is focused on just this area of his face. So look at the difference when I turn it on and off. You can probably notice it. So that's kind of how much I would probably lighten it. I wouldn't lighten it a whole lot more, but we can obviously, right? I can go in again on this layer with my white and with a brush tool and kind of go in maybe with a little bit bigger, more feather brush tool, go in here and kind of work this area more so that he's more, and I'm going to go down actually so his cheek, everything is a little bit brighter, not just the under the hat part. So that's kind of what I would do, is kind of decide at which point this layer 1, the gray layer that we did in part 1, look at it, what a huge difference though. If you turn it on and off, the difference is pretty dramatic. So yeah, so that's what I would do. Anything else that could be corrected, it could be improved. I'm not sure that there is anything else that is necessary. It looks pretty good. Let's actually zoom out, and it looks pretty good. As I said, you can finagle with the intensity of the color by changing this hue and saturation or brighten and contrast a little bit, but it's kind of up to you. So yeah, I will send you this image and see if you like it, or if you want to fuss with it a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'm sending it to you in PSD though, in Photoshop, because I have the latest Photoshop, and if you don't, it might give you a hard time to open it. Let me call it Paul for Susan, and let me see if I can choose. I think Photoshop will do. I'll just call it Photoshop, and hopefully you'll be able to open it. All right. I will send it to you, my friend. Thank you. Ciao.